Ever wonder how your phone knows which way you're facing?
Yeah.
Even when you're underground in the subway.
Yeah.
That's the magic of inertial navigation.
Uh-huh.
Using sensors to track your movement without any external signals like GPS.
Right.
Today we're going on a deep dive into a groundbreaking new system called RoNIN
Oh, okay.
that's taking this technology to a whole new level.
Wow.
And to guide us through the complexities of AI and motion tracking, we have an expert joining us today.
Glad to be here.
So let's start with the basics.
Sure.
What makes inertial navigation such a challenge?
What?
I mean, our phones have all these sensors, right?
Yeah.
Why isn't it a solved problem already?
You're right. Our phones are packed with sensors.
Okay.
Specifically ones called IMUs.
IMUs.
Or inertial measurement units.
Okay.
These IMUs contain accelerometers to measure acceleration,
Uh-huh.
gyroscopes for rotation, and magnetometers for a compass-like direction.
Okay.
The challenge lies in using the IMU data to accurately track your position over time.
Oh.
It all boils down to a tricky process called double integration.
Double integration.
Yeah.
Sounds intimidating. What's that all about?
Imagine you're in a car
Okay.
and you want to figure out how far you've traveled.
Okay.
You can look at your speedometer to see your speed at different points in time.
Yeah.
To get the distance traveled, you'd essentially add up all those speeds over time.
Yeah.
That's integration.
Right.
With inertial navigation, we're doing something similar.
Okay.
But we're integrating acceleration twice, first to get velocity and then to get position.
Okay, I'm starting to see why it's called double integration.
Yeah.
But where does the tricky part come in?
The problem is that IMU sensors are not perfect.
Oh.
They have small errors called biases
Okay.
that can creep into their measurement. When you integrate these biased measurements twice, those tiny errors get magnified, leading to inaccurate position estimates.
So it's like those games where you whisper a phrase to someone and it gets distorted as it's passed along?
Right. At the end, it's completely different.
Exactly. And traditional solutions to this problem, like zero-speed updates or step counting, have their limitations.
Okay.
They often rely on specific assumptions about how you're moving or holding your phone, which don't always hold true in real-world scenarios.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So how is RoNIN different? How is it overcoming these limitations?
RoNIN takes a data-driven approach.
Okay.
Instead of relying on handcrafted rules, it learns from a massive data set of IMU data paired with accurate position information. This data set is truly impressive.
Yeah.
42.7 hours of data collected from 100 different people.
Wow.
Performing a wide range of activities.
That's a lot of data.
Yeah.
But why is this data set so special?
First, it's incredibly diverse.
Okay.
It captures people walking, sitting, wandering around, and handling their phones in natural ways in their hand, in a bag, in a pocket.
Second, it's unique because it focuses on estimating the body's trajectory, not just the phone's.
Oh.
And to get that accurate ground truth, they used a clever two-device setup.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell us more about this two-device setup.
They had one phone strapped to the person's body using a harness,
Okay.
providing the precise ground truth body trajectory. The second phone, the one collecting IMU data, was handled freely by the participant,
Okay.
just like you'd use your phone in everyday life.
So they essentially created a way to compare the data from the freely handled phone to the highly accurate data from the strapped phone.
Exactly.
Seeing how the errors accumulated.
Precisely.
Uh-huh.
And this allowed them to train a powerful neural network that could learn to filter out those IMU biases and estimate the body's trajectory with remarkable accuracy, even when the phone is moving in complex ways.
That's fascinating. We've covered why inertial navigation is such a challenge and the innovative approach that RoNIN is taking.
Yeah.
Now I'm really curious to hear how well it actually works.
Let's dive into that next.
All right, let's get to the heart of the matter.
Okay.
Just how good is RoNIN?
Wow.
Can it actually pinpoint your location accurately using only your phone's motion sensors?
The researchers behind RoNIN wanted to find out too. So they put it through its paces,
Okay.
comparing it against several existing methods, both traditional and data-driven.
So a real showdown in the world of inertial navigation. Who are the contenders?
They tested against a few classic approaches,
Okay.
like naive double integration,
Naive double integration.
which, as the name suggests, is fairly basic
Right.
and susceptible to those accumulating errors we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
They also included pedestrian dead reckoning,
Pedestrian dead reckoning.
which relies on step counting and heading estimates.
Hmm.
And of course, they compared it to RIDI,
Really?
a plain-earing data-driven method,
Okay.
and IONET, another recent neural network approach.
So I'm picturing a robot obstacle course.
Yeah.
Each algorithm trying to navigate without getting lost.
Right.
How did RoNIN fare against these other methods?
The results were pretty remarkable.
Okay.
RoNIN consistently outperformed the competition, especially on its own data set.
Right.
Which makes sense as it was trained on that data.
Yeah.
But what's truly impressive is that it also performed remarkably well on the RIDI dataset,
Oh, wow.
even gracefully handling complex motions like walking backwards.
So RoNIN is taking the lead.
Yeah.
But you mentioned they tested it on multiple data sets.
Right.
Did it maintain its winning streak across the board?
That's where things get a bit more interesting.
Okay.
RoNIN, along with RoNIN, did struggle on another dataset called oxiode.
Oxo.
Surprisingly, even the simpler pedestrian dead reckoning method performed reasonably well on that one.
Wait, so the underdog took the lead there?
Yeah.
What happened? Did RoNIN suddenly lose its edge?
Not exactly.
Okay.
It turns out the oxiode dataset had some issues with its device orientation data.
Oh.
Remember how RoNIN relies on accurate device orientation estimates to transform everything into that heading agnostic coordinate frame?
Yeah.
If the orientation data is flawed, it throws everything off.
Right.
And that's what happened with oxiode.
So it's not that RoNIN is inherently flawed.
Right.
It's more like a high-performance car. It needs quality fuel to perform at its best.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
And to be fair to RoNIN, even RIDI, which was designed specifically for the RIDI dataset, struggled on oxiode as well. This highlights a crucial point. Accurate device orientation estimation is still a bottleneck in this field.
Okay, I get it. So, assuming good data quality, just how accurate is RoNIN? Can you give us a sense of what that looks like in the real world?
To quantify the performance, they use two standard metrics:
Okay.
absolute trajectory error, or 8E,
8.
and relative trajectory error, or RTE. 8.8 measures the overall difference between the estimated trajectory and the ground truth,
Right.
while RTE looks at the error over shorter intervals.
So 80 is like judging the overall accuracy of a cross-country road trip.
Yeah.
While RTE is about how well you stay on track between each gas station stop.
Exactly.
Okay.
On the RoNIN dataset, the best RoNIN variant achieved an average 8 of just a few meters
Wow.
over trajectories that often spanned hundreds of meters.
That's really...
And the RTE was even lower,
Hmm.
typically less than a meter per minute.
Wow. That's incredibly accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be thrilled if my phone could keep me within a meter of where I actually am.
Uh-huh.
But remember, RoNIN was also estimating body heading, which way the person is facing.
Yeah.
How did it perform on that front?
That's another area where RoNIN really shines.
Okay.
It significantly outperformed the baseline, which simply used the device heading as a proxy for body heading. On average, RoNIN's heading estimates were off by only about 15 degrees, even for subjects it had never seen before.
That's impressive. So RoNIN can tell you not only where you are,
Right.
but also which way you're facing, all using just your phone's IMU data.
Exactly.
What does this mean for the future of inertial navigation? This feels like a real game changer.
It certainly is.
Oh, okay.
Before we delve into the broader implications, though, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned so far about RoNIN.
So we started this deep dive looking into the challenge of inertial navigation,
Uh-huh.
trying to figure out where you are in the world,
Right.
using only data from your phone's motion sensors.
Yeah.
Sounds simple.
But it's incredibly complex.
Incredibly complex,
Yeah.
right? Those IMU biases,
Right.
those little errors in the sensor readings.
Right.
Kind of big problems when you're trying to calculate position based on those readings.
Exactly.
And traditional methods try to compensate for this.
Yeah.
But they often make assumptions about movement and how people use their phones, which don't really reflect reality.
They don't.
And that's where RoNIN comes in
Exactly.
with its revolutionary data-driven approach.
Yeah.
It learns from a massive data set of real-world phone usage,
Uh-huh.
42.7 hours of data from 100 people.
Huge.
It blows my mind to think about how much data went into this.
It's a lot of data.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, it really is.
And they didn't just collect data of people walking in straight lines.
No.
This data set captures diverse activities
Oh,
and natural phone handling.
yeah.
People walking, sitting with the phone in their hand, bag, pocket.
At their pocket, yeah.
That two-device setup was ingenious.
It was very clever.
One phone strapped to the body for precise tracking.
Yeah.
Another held naturally. Really
Yeah.
highlights RoNIN's focus on the body's trajectory, not just the phone's movement.
Right.
And this data allowed them to create a neural network
Yeah.
that can filter out those pesky IMU biases
Right.
and estimate position.
Right.
And even body heading with remarkable accuracy.
Yeah, with impressive accuracy.
We saw how RoNIN outshined the competition,
It did.
especially on its own data set.
Right.
And the right eye data set. Even with complex movements,
Yeah,
it maintained impressive accuracy.
it did.
Of course, no system is perfect.
Right.
RoNIN's performance does depend on good quality device orientation data.
Yeah, that's true.
And this highlights an important area for future research,
Yeah.
making sure the orientation data is as accurate as possible.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
But even with that limitation, the potential of RoNIN is really exciting.
It's exciting.
Imagine a world where your phone could guide you through a crowded airport
Uh-huh.
or a sprawling shopping mall with incredible accuracy, all without relying on GPS.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the dream.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The applications are almost limitless.
Yeah.
Seamless indoor navigation,
Yeah.
enhanced AR and VR experiences.
Yeah. Even more precise tracking for fitness and health.
Or fitness.
I'm particularly fascinated by the potential for AR.
Yeah.
Imagine playing a game where your phone knows exactly where you are
Right.
and which way you're facing in a room,
Yeah.
even if you're ducking behind furniture
Yeah.
or peeking around corners.
Wow.
That level of immersion would be incredible.
Would be very cool.
Exactly. And think about applications beyond gaming.
Yeah.
Imagine AR tours of museums where information pops up on your phone
Right.
as you approach different artifacts or AR shopping experiences where you can visualize how furniture would look in your home
That's a good example.
before you buy it.
Yeah.
RoNIN could make all of this possible.
It could, yeah.
It feels like we're on the cusp of a major technological shift.
It does.
What are some of the challenges that researchers still need to address
Well,
to make this future a reality?
improving device orientation estimation is a top priority. As we saw, accurate orientation data is crucial for RoNIN's performance.
Yeah.
Researchers are also exploring ways to make the algorithms even more robust to different types of motion and phone handling, ensuring it works flawlessly no matter how you use your device.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into RoNIN,
Yeah,
I'm left feeling incredibly excited about the future.
I am too.
We've gone from the limitations of traditional inertial navigation to the possibilities of a data-driven approach
Right.
that could revolutionize how we navigate
Yeah,
and interact with the world.
it's amazing.
I agree. It's a truly transformative technology
Yeah,
with the potential to reshape our digital experiences.
absolutely.
We've covered the science, the data, the algorithms. But what I find most captivating is the potential impact on our lives.
Yeah.
If inertial navigation becomes super reliable using just our phones, what will that unlock? New apps,
Yeah.
new ways of experiencing the world,
New possibility.
new possibilities we haven't even imagined.
Right.
It's a question worth pondering as you go about your day.
Yeah.
And as always, thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
My pleasure. Always a pleasure.